My name is Arne Schildberg. I'm the country director of Friedrich Ebert Stiftung in Addis Ababa.
Yeah, could you tell us about the organization?
Friedrich Ebert Stiftung is a German political foundation, and we are promoting social democracy all over the world. Yeah, operating from 80 countries. We are working in more than 100 countries all around the world.
And what has been your involvement with the African Union here?
We have been organizing trainings for African journalists in order to increase the coverage of the African Union summits within the African countries, and now we are trying to add also to do something on the coverage in the north, in the west and in the east.
The Friedrich Ebert Stiftung Foundation, or FACE, is a German political foundation committed to ideas and basic values of the social democracy. Its mission, both at home in Germany and in over 100 countries, is to promote democracy, social justice, and economic reform through capacity building, policy development, and promotion of dialogue. The work of the Addis Ababa office of the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung currently concentrates mainly in 4 areas. That is capacity building for democratic development, promoting the process of economic and social development, regional cooperation on trade, economic integration, and peace and security, and also promoting training and the exchange of ideas on continental and global security issues. In the last few years, FEAS and the Department of Communication at the African Union have been conducting capacity building programs for media, taking place within the context of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between FES and AU Commission in 2010. The trainings are an intervention aimed at providing awareness to the media on the AU, the themes of the African Union summits, as well as development and integration issues. They engage African media on how they can strengthen the African voice through the African Union on various issues under the African Union portfolio. The broad goal of the training is to create a core of African journalists and editors who are sufficiently informed to be multipliers of information on the African development issues as promoted by the African Union and on strengthening the African voice in the international arena. Specifically, the media training aims at 1. Enhancing awareness among media practitioners on the African Union and its linkage to other sub-regional and regional global organizations. Enhancing the ability of African citizenry to articulate their needs and key policy issues of which the African Union should address and present in the international forums as the citizen continually benefit from better and critical reporting on specific integration and development questions including peace and security. Also, enhancing awareness among African journalists of the issues surrounding the summit themes so that they are better able to report on the analysis of the topics. Facilitating dynamic interaction between African journalists and the key actors based on contacts at the African Union headquarters. Furthermore, facilitating the creation and or strengthening of network among relevant African journalists, editors working on African Union issues. Lastly, production of articles, reports and programs of quality on AU topics and the strengthening of the African voice through the African Union in global governance. We all agree that media is Africa's mirror, and what is reported in the media influences people's decisions and attitudes. Media is the fourth estate. It is the spokesperson of the people. These are heavy responsibilities that you choose to be engaged in. And the African Union is ready to facilitate this task. Because a well-informed, equipped and developed media has a crucial role in promoting and reflecting on Africa's development, integration and security. Media must report objectively on all issues, balancing peace and security with development. It must also know their rights as given by the leaders in the various statutes of the African Union. This is why, in this program, we covered such a subjects. I personally, as a participant on this program for the first time, and being a member of the Diaspora, I've learned quite a lot through this program.
On important AU and Africa related subjects. 2. To scrutinize the role of African media and the development of the African Union concerning its capacity and accountability towards African citizens.
The 10 or 11 years of the AU there's a proposal on the table to now start planning for the next 50 years, because we can't be planning in the short term all the time. And with that plan comes also an invitation to all sectors of society, including yourselves, that you have a responsibility and an opportunity to also have an input in shaping the future of the continent. So I think keep pressing on DIC for more platforms for you to be able to contribute to that bet that's going to form the next 50 years of Africa.
And it is the moment what we have been, where we are, and where we are going. It is a golden opportunity to evaluate. Therefore, I think the Assembly, in deciding to devote this year with one theme, Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance, want to say, as we celebrate, we have to chart the way forward for the next 50 years. For Africa to enjoy Renaissance, to enjoy Pan-African spirit, to enjoy greater unity, integration, peace for development.
Your Excellency, could you please introduce yourself?
Thank you. Yes, I am Isaac Mullo, Malawi's ambassador to the African Union, to Ethiopia, to the Economic Commission for Africa, ECA, and I'm also covering 20 or so countries, especially in West Africa. Yes, it's a multilateral posting. So the job involves mostly, I think, 3 aspects. The bulk of my work is with the African Union Commission, whereby I belong to the group of ambassadors called the Permanent Representatives Committee. So we are responsible for setting agenda of the African Union business. We are responsible for deliberating a number of issues and making recommendations to the Executive Council, which is a body of ministers of foreign affairs. And through there, it goes on to the Assembly, where the heads of state examine these issues and take decisions on them. So that is really a lot of work. Beyond that, we are also responsible for oversight functions. We are the ones, for instance, who discuss the budget of the AU. We are the ones who look at the structure, the staffing of other organs of the AU. We talk of the African Court of Human and People's Rights, the Pan-African Parliament. But most of all, we also monitor the operations of the African Union Commission.
Elevating poverty from the domestic front, and then by creating a very, conducive atmosphere to live in peace with all the neighborly countries. So at the regional level, as the country which contributes by and large to the attainment of the objectives of IGAD, Ethiopia has played a very important role in the peace in Sudan, in bringing back Somalia to a nationhood state, and has also been instrumental in stabilizing the whole region. At African level, Mallas had been also playing a very important role in making Africa's voice is heard around the globe. Africa's interests are respected. He fought hard for the realization of equal trade between Africa and the rest of the world. He had been instrumental in bringing peace in many parts of Africa.
I'm here in a place called Almandes. Almandes is the most poshest place here in Senegal. We're here in Dakar at the coast. Behind me here, what you see is a hotel called Almandes, which is a very posh hotel. But at the same time, it's also the home of the EU forces. We have got the French, the English. No, I need to get this right. I've got the French, the Spanish, and other forces from Europe, the armed forces who are here to help resolve the problem of Mali, which is right that side. I think Mali is just across the river here. We were in Mali yesterday. We tried to see what is happening in Mali.
Malnutrition. Another key intervention is the expansion of our immunization coverage, especially improving coverage of the newly introduced vaccines against diarrhea and pneumonia. Unfortunately, despite progress in dealing with HIV since 2009, HIV still contributes to about 40% of maternal and child deaths in
being a good summary. And as you have said yourself, maternal mortality is still increasing in Africa, 57%. Although we are only 15% of the world population. So the main point I would like to make is that this is a problem of backwardness.
Briefly, the department has two major divisions. We have the divisions for governance, democracy, and then we have the humanitarian affairs division. Under the governance division, we are preoccupied with our mandate is to ensure that there is good governance, democracy, and we also have the electoral assistance unit. You know very well that the African Union has the mandate to monitor and observe all the elections in Africa, both parliamentary and presidential elections, which we have been doing. We are also currently training all the electoral management units. I'm talking about the INEX of the various countries. For us, it's the #1 organization on the continent. It is the apex body on the continent. And I choose to disagree with you that people in the diaspora do not know what the African Union is doing. I would rather want to emphasize here that the African Union is a very relevant organization, and it would continue to assert itself not only on the continent but all over the world.
On behalf of the Commission, to thank you sincerely for electing us to serve this premier organization of Africa. And it is a responsibility which we pledge to undertake with commitment and diligence.
The African Union is the apex organization on the continent. Our vision is to ensure that we have an integrated, prosperous and peaceful Africa driven by its own people, including those of you in the diaspora. The African Union Commission, in most of its activities, recognizes the role that the diaspora can play in development and also in helping to ensure that Africa remains the power to reckon with.
It would lead us towards that one. And we can't afford to continue like that. It is impossible. So the point now is whether the efforts of Pan-Africanism and African Renaissance is in one way or another receiving media coverage. Because the attempts, the objectives of African Renaissance are obviously to help the African people to cope with the modern challenge of globalization as well. This will require then the examination of the nature of African media itself. Of course, media could not be conceived as being free from all factors that hamper the development of the African people. Media, as it were, we're not taking them as things that are totally free from any problems at all. It is impossible to imagine things of that sort. We do not have, or we can't have any media system that are perfectly fit for any purpose.
The ultimate aim of all our efforts is to develop a well-informed media capable of reporting on development, integration, and security issues in a fair, transparent, and balanced manner. The idea of media development is informed by existing and ratified African statutes that guarantee freedom of expression and right of freedom of expression.
This is the song about Africa, image of Africa, what Africa needs, what Africa are today. It's called New Africa. Man Youssou Ndour maa ngi woo bépp doomu Afrique ñu bokk xalaat bokk gis-gis bokk yéene sans frontière boole sunu am te liggéey waratuñu nangu kenn ñëw di ñu feewal bul jiite réew foog ne la fa nekk yow yaa ko moom njiit bu dëgër dana wala fekk nga bëgg sa réew te sàkku ndimbal na ca fekk loxol boroom wuy Afrika bu jant bi fenkee waaw na la fekk joo ak sa jumtukaay bëccëg bi gaaw na ñett du bëre te ñaar mën kenn waaw yoon wi sore na te metti na nañu ko waaja ba du noppee xalaat lañu defoon sa xol dootul ñetti la doon xalaat lu dul fento su ma sañoon Afrika benn nit moo koy jiite ñu boole suñuy xalaat ak suñuy doole jokkoo nañu bi frontière ya taxal yoon yi ba ñëpp a gisee Kencho thinking walk together keep on walking Cheikh Anta Diop Kwame Nkrumah Stephen Biko, all you people.